You're listening to Ideal Practice, episode number 15. Not long ago, someone asked me, Wendy, how do I start a private practice where I can serve those who are dealing with cancer? She had a big dream, a big idea, but didn't know how to even get started. Well, today I'm going to help her out and you. You're going to hear a deceptively simple answer to what was really a pretty big question. But y'all, I want you to think of this as the roadmap for your big idea, whatever it may be. What I'm going to share with you today is the exact process you can use to accomplish anything you really, really want to do. That's what we're talking about today. So stay tuned. Hi, I'm Wendy Reeves, and with over 2 decades of experience in the private practice world, I've built my 6-figure business while learning a lot of lessons the hard way. This is the first podcast that shows you how to apply the principles of energy, alignment, and strategy to build a practice that is profit-centered, but people-forward. This is the Ideal Practice Podcast. Hello, everyone, and welcome. This is Wendy Reeves here on Ideal Practice. And today I want to answer a question from Randy Wax-Height. Randy asked a question in the Ideal Practice community saying that she was thinking at some point she has a dream about opening a counseling practice, a private practice, working specifically with cancer survivors, caregivers, and others associated with that. And she also wants to offer bereavement services. And she said, I could just use a little hand-holding about where to even begin. So I thought I would address that today. And I want to do that by sharing with you, I'm going to use a model that I call the C2C success wheel. It's the courage to confidence wheel of success. And essentially, this is a 7-step process that I use with any big idea that I want to launch, and it's a process I can work through to take the courage that I've got to go after this big idea and develop the confidence to bring it into reality by following these steps. And I thought it might be kind of fun to apply those steps to this idea and see where it takes us. And so let's just talk through some of the basics about where you want to go when you start a private practice. And I think you will find that this is a little different from what you're used to hearing. We'll see. Let's dive in, shall we? So this first step, here are the steps. I'll put them all in a nutshell, and then we're going to talk through them a little bit at a time. Step 1, dream. Step 2, decide. Step 3, declare. Step 4, design. Step 5, deliver. Step 6, debrief. Step 7, dance. Now let's talk about what each one of those means, shall we? And how it would apply to starting your practice. The number one thing is to get clear on what the dream is. What is your vision for what it is you want to create? Randy talked about creating a way of serving those who are dealing with cancer and the bereavement that often goes along with that. So what does that look like? Who do you want to serve, right? How do you want that to be? What does that look like when it's kind of up and running and it's going really well? That's your first step, and that in itself could take some time. Step 2 is the biggie though, and that is to decide. And y'all, everything begins with a decision. I often say that success is nothing more than a whole series of scary decisions, one right after the other. So I want you to decide a couple of specific things. Number 1, who do you serve? Who is going to be invited to participate in whatever the services are you're going to deliver here? That's number 1. Number 2, what exactly are you going to be doing? What are you going to be offering? Is this a solo practice? Is it a group practice? Is it, are you working with individuals? Are you going to be offering family therapy? Are you going to be having art therapy groups? What are you going to have? What kind of services are you going to have there? So who, what? Number 3, where? Are you doing this virtually or in person? Do you want to have it in an office in town, in an urban area? Are you going to be out in a more rural area? Is it going to be a hybrid of some sort? Is it going to be something that you offer to people in your region, in state, out of state? depending upon what the nature of your practice is, could affect the answer to all those questions. So who am I going to serve? What am I going to do? How am I going to offer that? Where do I want to provide those services? And then how? Am I doing this? How am I going to structure this? Am I going to accept insurance payments, or is this self-pay only? Or am I going to create a nonprofit or some other structure completely? There's a lot to be figured out in all that, but I want you to notice I'm not saying to figure out what the details are, just make some high-level decisions. And it can totally be, I'm not quite sure how I'm going to do this yet, but this is what I want it to look like. This is who I want to serve. These are the kinds of services I want to offer. This is kind of how I want the payment structure to look like. And this is where I want to deliver these kinds of services, or the kind of place or setting I want to offer these services. So you got some decisions to make. That's step 2. Step 3 is not what most people think it's going to be, and that is to declare your intentions. And I always say, with your words or your wallet. And what that means, when I say with your wallet, I mean that's investing in this dream. That might be by renting office space. It might be by paying for an EHR system, an electronic health record system. It might be by making sure you've got your malpractice insurance in place. But it's putting some money down, right? That's how you declare your intentions in one way. Another way to declare your intentions, though, is to just tell people what you're about to do. So the way that would work here, if you're going to launch a practice, and I mean going to, I don't mean you're doing it yet, I mean you're getting ready to. It might be that you write an actual press release, depending upon where you're at in that process. It might mean that you create a warm letter campaign where you notify key players in your personal network what your intentions are. It might be that you just tell 3 specific potential referral sources. I'm not opening yet, but I expect here's what I'm working on. And I'm hoping to have my doors open and ready to take new folks as of this date. Perhaps you set an opening date that's 3 months in the future or 6 months in the future, but you start building a little excitement about it now. See how that can work? All of those are ways of declaring your intentions to the world. And the reason I am going to challenge you to do this first is because big things happen, y'all, when you start declaring your intentions this way. It is the impetus. It is the momentum that's going to pull you forward. You said you were going to do it, so now you got to do it, right? And I want you to notice, again, we haven't even gotten down to the details about all the specifics yet. We've made some decisions, and we have announced our intentions to the world. Dream, decide, declare. Okay, now is when you begin to design. Now is when you start getting down to the basics. All right, how am I going to do this? Here is where you figure out things like, what kind of insurance do I need to buy? What kind of record-keeping system do I want? What kind of packages am I going to offer? And what are my rates going to be? You start figuring out the specifics about, are you going to be doing this online? And if so, through what platform? Are you going to be doing it through a physical office? If so, where? Right? You start getting the details done. Figuring out the paperwork even what your kind of client onboarding services are or sources or process is. There's a lot to be figured out, but this is when you get into the design of the practice itself. One little note of caution here. Don't feel like you got to have it all figured out up front, because you don't. If you are a quick start, which is what most of us who are sort of driven towards entrepreneurship tend to be, there's going to be pressure on you. You're going to feel like you got to have it all done before you launch, but you don't actually. You just need to know what to do with the first few clients you get, okay? If somebody calls me today and says, I've got a referral for you that you know is perfect, how would you see them? How would you serve them? How would you get paid? You just have to kind of know the basics to get started and make sure that you've got your legal and your financial foundation in place. So yeah, I want to make sure you've got your insurance in place, those kinds of things. But I don't want you to overthink this, because you just got to get started. And then you will improve and tweak your systems. You will develop this business while you're in the business of running it. And that moves us into step 5, deliver. I just want you to see some people. And once you start to deliver your services, you're going to learn all kinds of things. That worked. That didn't. That felt good. That didn't. This would have been easier if I'd handled it that way. I need to figure out a system for handling that. You will learn so much just from working with your first few clients. That's step 5, deliver. Step 6, debrief. As you deliver your services, get in the habit of reviewing what worked, what didn't, what do I want to keep doing, what do I need to stop doing, what do I want to do but perhaps in a slightly different way. How do I want to adapt or evolve the way I'm running this? Do that, and you will get better and better and better. And then step 7 is the part that most of us as entrepreneurs tend to forget and ignore, and that is, I want you to dance. No, I don't necessarily mean you got to stand up and dance in your office, although I think that would be kind of fun. What I mean is I want you to celebrate. Oh my gosh, I'm actually doing this. I'm actually doing this. Who knew that I could even do this? And I don't even really care how it goes, whether it goes great right out of the gate or whether it's pretty hard right out of the gate. I want you to give yourself credit because by golly, you're doing it, right? And as one of my favorite coaches used to say, learn to love the tweak. That's part of that debriefing process. Once you see a few people and you will improve, you got a lot to celebrate because you are moving forward. You are running a business. By golly, you have launched your private practice. So I just want to say, I went through all that pretty quickly, I know, but here's the deal. It's not that it is easy to get a practice off the ground, but it is relatively simple. And if you do the steps that I just laid out for you, you'll be in business before you know it, and you'll have your first clients before you know it. Dream, decide, declare, design, deliver, debrief, and dance. And by the way, when you're doing that celebrating thing, I would love it if you would drop a note in the comments below or send me an email or even a DM on Facebook and let me know how things are going for you so that I can celebrate with you because I love that. Thank you for being here. Thank you for listening. I hope this is helpful for you, and I can't wait to see where those of you who are relatively new to the idea of private practice, how you implement this in your own life. And for those of you who've been at this for a while, if you've got something you are ready to try that's new, you're ready to up-level your practice, or you're ready to move in a different direction, you can actually apply these same steps there as well. So keep that in mind. And if you need some help with that, by all means, reach out to me. I'd love to help in any way I can. Thank you, everybody. So glad you're here. Have a great week, and I will see you next time. Bye now. Hey guys, before you go, I'd love to offer you just a little dose of extra support. We talk a lot here on Ideal Practice about specific strategies for moving your practice forward. And when we do, like today, I hope you're inspired. I hope you're fired up even, like, I'm so ready to do this, Wendy. Yeah. But I also know that when you sit down to actually try some of the things you learn here on the show, you might struggle a little. Sometimes when you decide to implement a new strategy or try a new idea, what seemed perfectly clear before, all of a sudden, well, it just isn't. That's completely normal, y'all. The idea is the easy part. Taking imperfect action is how you move that idea forward. And the good news is I can help you with that. It's amazing what a difference it can make just to talk through your ideas with someone else out loud, someone who gets it. It's even better if you can actually work on those ideas at the same time. So if you have a problem you want to solve or an idea you want to try, but you just don't know where to start, a quick start consult might be just the thing. This is a unique standalone session that I offer that gives you access to high-quality coaching without the expense of a full-blown coaching commitment. It's also a great way to test the waters and just see what coaching is even like. We don't just talk about your business around here, we work on it together. And you can learn more about this over on my website at wendypittsreeves.com/consult.